5. Evan Sanders is an ambassador for Turning Point USA. It is not his full-time job, but he has been with TPUSA since the very beginning and was a close friend with Charlie Kirk. Evan, kind enough to spend a few minutes with us this morning. Evan, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Really appreciate your time and certainly offer our condolences to you and so many that were close with Charlie. As I mentioned, you've been with him since a really long time. I was going through your Instagram and the pictures of you when you were with Charlie at the very beginning to where you are now. Like all of us, you have changed. You've grown a lot. Talk to us a little bit about the relationship that you had and what you saw firsthand with Charlie.
Of course. So, just to give you like a brief overview. So I graduated high school at a school in Natchez, Mississippi. For those that are familiar with it, it's like a kind of like a smaller New Orleans charming feel. So that summer of 2017, I was looking for, I guess, like kind of leadership conferences and also conferences that are related to the conservative movement. And then I saw an ad for Turning Point USA, and then, at the time, the website was pretty brand new. It wasn't nearly as innovative as it is today. So clicked on the website, saw Charlie Kirk was the founder and everything. Went to his Instagram. He had probably like 460 followers at the time. So I sent him a DM and I said, hey, I see your first conference coming up. So, I'd really love to join you. It was me and about 70 other students at George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And, since then, like Turning Point USA, it used to be like very intimate. It was pretty much like a small field from the beginning. At that point, Charlie was like kind of brand new to his role and ideas and everything. Like he was just, just a guy from Illinois that had this brilliant startup idea. And, I'm really impressed to see how far he's come over the course of the last 8 years. But, at that point, like he would sit down, he would have lunches with us. We talked like every few months. So it's been like a consistent friendship. I wouldn't classify him as like a best friend by any means, but like I would definitely say we would be there for each other if we needed anything, if that makes sense.
There have been so many online remembrances of Charlie, and one of the things that I thought was interesting and kind of spoke maybe to who he was talking about these Turning Point events, and that there would be breakout sessions, and he would go around to each table and introduce himself and engage with the people that were at the event. And you said one of those first events, or that very first event, probably 70 people that were there, and then it grew to 700, and then maybe 7,000. But the way that he engaged with the people that were part of Turning Point never changed, that he continued to go around and meet and try to really get to know the people that were there. Did you see that?
Absolutely. I think Charlie's been very humble and warm and welcoming from the very beginning. Even as his following grew to, I think it's over 11 million now on Instagram. Like one could say like he's very busy, but at the same time, like at all his events, he definitely does make time to, introduce himself to as many people as possible. Like, and while he is the founder and I guess this quote unquote famous person now, he still doesn't like act really uppity about it. He doesn't have that really big ego. I mean, I'm sure he's proud of himself like we all are, but he just acts like a normal person,
Yeah. There are lots of different ways that people are talking about this story and covering this story, and we've tried to be a little bit different, at least this morning, in the way. And I've asked the question why, and what I'm getting at is why is it that Charlie's message resonated with so many people, especially young people? But because I think most people know, and I mean you're an example. When you were young, you kind of gravitated to this movement. So why is it that Charlie was able to connect? Why is it that his message was able to resonate the way that it did?
Again, I just think his humbleness. I think he had a very strong level of emotional maturity. I think he had a lot of relatability to, younger conservatives that were kind of shut out. I'll say like my initial starting point in politics was right before the 2016 election. Like I was very open about, my conservative beliefs, my values, everything. And even out of school in Mississippi, I lost a few friends for supporting Trump. And then, once I saw that Turning Point USA was this new startup for all these conferences and events for young conservatives to kind of come together, I said, this is a great idea. So I DM'd Charlie, went to their first event, and ever since then, it's just been a great journey for me, both professionally, like on a personal level, and just like spiritually. I just feel a lot more at ease knowing that there's so many people that come together to support each other.
So we know that Charlie and Turning Point were scheduled to be in Oxford at the end of October at Ole Miss, on the Ole Miss campus. That would have been his first event here. I think it was scheduled for October 29th, and already there had been a great deal of people reaching out for tickets for that event as it went to college campuses all over the place. There's been a lot of talk, and you've seen a lot of people say that even though Charlie is no longer with us, that this movement will continue. Is this one of those things where people are a prisoner of the moment, and it's the way that they can offer support in the immediate aftermath of tragedy? Or is this Turning Point USA movement, and that's the word I'm using to describe it, something that is going to continue to not only exist, but to grow and to thrive?
Absolutely. And, I think everyone is just kind of, coming together over this. I think a lot more people are kind of like being activated, per se, due to this incident. And, there's been like over 18,000 chapter requests since that incident. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see where it goes in this direction.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes when there is a leader who is no longer with us, it leaves a leadership gap, a void, if you will. Is there a single person that you expect to kind of take up the mantle, or is this going to be more of a collective going forward?
Honestly, I can't see anyone fill in his place. So I really think it's going to be collective overall, just, this younger generation kind of coming together.
Evan, what is your lasting memory of Charlie going to be? And you spoke to your relationship, that it wasn't a best friend thing. It wasn't you talked every single day, but certainly you had been there since the beginning and communicated on a fairly regular basis. So what are you going to remember about Charlie?
Definitely the humility, the humbleness, the eagerness to learn. No matter how much of an expert you are, no matter how much reading you do, there's always, a way to self-improve, per se, and like on an emotional level, on a physical level. And I think he just really hit all those notches, and I think he was just an inspiration for me personally.
Do you view Charlie and Turning Point as a political movement or as a spiritual movement?
I'll say it's kind of a hybrid. He's had a lot of growth in his Christianity over the course that I've known him. So, there's certain videos or certain podcasts to listen to him that are more, in line with the Christian spiritual values, and then there's more that are on the political side. So I think it's a great skill to kind of differentiate the two and, I guess, know the role of each video and what it plays in your life.
Really an incredible figure who grew from a very small following to a very, very large movement. Evan, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for sharing. And again, we offer our condolences to you, and we'll continue to focus on this going forward. Thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Evan Sanders, Mississippi native, Natchez, Mississippi. And you heard him say he graduated high school and was kind of trying to figure out where to go next, and was looking for conservative causes, organizations, conferences, leadership-related roles, and found Turning Point USA in its infancy. Was part of that very first conference that they had in Washington, D.C. back in 2018, I think it was, and has been part of it along the way. Appreciate Evan joining us this morning. We've got more coming up with you. You can be part of the conversation on the C Spire text line at 601-879-4395. A quick timeout. We got more coming up. It's Mornings with Richard Cross on SuperTalk, Mississippi.